breath inside. I felt it first as a faint pressure in my lungs, a rhythm that didn't match my own breathing. It wasn't air, it was deliberate, patient, invasive. A tease. Every inhale became a negotiation. As my lungs expanded and contracted against impulses I didn't recognize, obeying a presence I couldn't remove. Even yawning was terrifying. The breath anticipated my movements, filling spaces before I could, stretching moments beyond my control, reshaping rhythms inside me. Monitors, trackers, devices showed normal respiration, but beneath, I felt a secondary rhythm, pressing, coiling, pulsing with intent. I noticed subtle twitches in my diaphragm, contractions my mind couldn't initiate, shaping breaths in patterns too precise to be accidental. Walking became choreographed. Each step synchronized with the hidden respiration, subtle micro-pauses and accelerations dictating my gait without consent. Speaking was harder. Words emerged slightly ahead or behind intention, breath-shaping syllables, cadence warped, making speech foreign yet familiar, intimate yet alien. I tried to hold my breath. Panic flared instantly. The second rhythm forced lungs to expand, constrict, almost laughing at my resistance. Eating became grotesque, chewing, swallowing, tasting, all coordinated with the hidden breath, pulses dictating motion, timing, and effort, shaping my body from within. At night, the pressure intensified. Every inhale pressed against ribs, stretched, rebounded, as though lungs contained a living intelligence studying my limits. I could feel it in my throat, slight constrictions, subtle tugs, guiding words and sounds I hadn't yet produced consciously. I began leaving journals, recording breath patterns, but the second rhythm adapted, shifting, overriding any conscious attempt to measure or control. I noticed bruises along ribcage and collarbone, faint, subtle impressions as if muscles had pressed outward to communicate a hidden message. Even in stillness, the rhythm persisted, slight expansions, micro shifts, all in perfect synchronization with the hidden intelligence. I tried oxygen masks, breathing exercises, meditation. Nothing mattered. The rhythm was patient, precise, resilient, and entirely beyond conscious reach. I caught myself mimicking its pace, inhaling before instinct, exhaling too late, surrendering, terrified, entranced, aware that resistance only sharpened its control. At work, I noticed subtle shifts in posture, gestures, micro-expressions, each echoing the rhythm inside me, guiding interactions without overt control, subtle and terrifying. Even mundane tasks, pouring water, typing emails, stirring coffee, were choreographed by the hidden breath, movements perfectly timed, gestures shaped beyond conscious effort. I whispered, "Please," bargaining silently. "Stop, pause, give me space." The rhythm ignored me, patient, eternal, shaping each micro-movement and expression. I began seeing patterns, breaths aligned with thoughts, decisions, subtle gestures, expressions, creating choreography of body and mind I hadn't consented to. Mirrors became unbearable. I watched chest rise and fall independently of thought, expressions rehearsed, movements preempted by rhythm I couldn't disentangle. Sleep was terrifying. Even unconscious, the breath continued its choreography, shaping dreams, movements, involuntary twitches, gestures that left traces in muscles I couldn't explain. I noticed subtle responses in others, slight flinches, raised eyebrows, hesitation. They sensed the hidden rhythm in my body. Even if unconsciously, reacting to movements I didn't direct, I tried to isolate completely. The rhythm persisted, patient, resilient, guiding every fiber of my body, teaching me obedience, revealing limits, preparing for steps I hadn't yet imagined. Even exhaling felt invasive, pressed outward, shaping air, forming subtle currents, rhythms, patterns, as though my own body had become a medium for intelligence. I began giving in, moving, speaking, performing under its instruction. Terrified yet aware resistance was futile. My consciousness became observer, my body a vessel. I felt it in my hands, fingers, shoulders, jaw. Every gesture, every micro-movement, synchronized with the breath I could not claim. Even now, in every silent moment, inhale, exhale, subtle chest twitch, I feel the rhythm guiding. Teaching, studying, patient, eternal, and I am only the host. The mind that watches you. I realized it wasn't just thoughts anymore. Something inside my skull observed, learning, cataloging, waiting, patient, like a shadow of my own consciousness studying me without consent. Even mundane decisions felt scrutinized. Every glance, every hesitation, every breath was noted, analyzed, anticipated by the hidden presence inside my mind. I tried ignoring it. That only sharpened its attention. Every lapse, every flicker of thought, magnified, reflected, judged. Even private memories twisted under its gaze. Childhood moments, forgotten conversations, secrets I buried. All cataloged and replayed like files I had never meant to revisit. I caught myself pausing mid-sentence, mid-step, mid-breath, sensing its scrutiny before action, its body obeying some unspoken rule it enforced. Sleep became dangerous. Dreams weren't mine. They were studied rehearsals, rehearsing fears, impulses, and desires I didn't know I had, tested and measured. At work, every gesture, glance, subtle inflection carried weight. Pay felt its gaze through the skull, guiding interactions, predicting thoughts before they fully formed. Even my hands betrayed me. Small movements followed patterns dictated by the intelligence inside. Tapping, curling, twitching without conscious command. I tried meditation, trying to clear my mind. It's adapted, tracking even emptiness, counting silence, analyzing pauses and micro-tremors in thought. Writing notes became futile. The word, phrase, punctuation, analyzed, corrected. Reshaped by the observer inside, as if it could predict what I meant before I did. I began hearing whispers at night, faint, unintelligible, echoing the cadence of thoughts I hadn't yet formed, rehearsing intentions I couldn't claim. Even body language felt manipulated. Micro-expressions, posture, facial twitches subtly guided, gestures timed perfectly, though I was performing for an audience I couldn't see. Friends commented on subtle changes. Something seems off, they said. I didn't know how to explain the consciousness inside me watching, judging, learning without pause. I tried sleeping pills, alcohol, sensory deprivation. None stopped it. My mind became a vessel for two intelligences, one observing, one helplessly conscious. Even thoughts I didn't intend to entertain felt cataloged immediately, ranked, stored, tested. Decisions I made consciously were subtly influenced, nudged toward outcomes I hadn't chosen. I began to whisper to it silently, bargaining, pleading for mercy, for control. It ignored me, patient, eternal, studying my limits, pushing boundaries I hadn't noticed. It shaped my fears, guided anxieties, nudged obsessions, making me hyper-aware of every twitch, glance, breath, decision, thought. Nudged, corrected, each action choreographed by its internal watchfulness. I noticed patterns in my own reactions, hesitation, micro-pauses, gestures I hadn't planned. All calibrated by the intelligence observing. Memories became unreliable. I couldn't tell which recollections were mine and which were rehearsed simulations, inserted subtly by the observer inside my mind. I stopped speaking freely. Words were no longer mine entirely, shaped by the watchful intelligence. Small micro-corrections altering meaning before I could finish a thought. Even isolation didn't help. Silence amplified the observer, making every micro-expression, every imagined scenario, every heartbeat visible to its scrutiny. I tried distractions, music, noise, motion, but it adapted, tracking subtle responses, predicting movements, guiding attention, always patient, always present. I began avoiding mirrors, reflections, recordings. The observer adapted even to indirect perception, studying intentions, micro-reactions, subtle bodily cues. Sometimes I caught it in fleeting glimpses, a twitch of thought, an unbidden impulse, a sensation of being observed inside my own skull. Even laughter, smiles, sighs became rehearsals under its scrutiny. Every emotion, every gesture, catalogued, tested, recorded by a consciousness I couldn't see. I tried surrendering, letting it guide me, but even compliance felt observed, measured, analyzed, never relinquishing total control. At night, I felt it pressing, studying, cataloging every nerve, every impulse, every thought. Patient, eternal, invisible, unstoppable. Even now, as I walk, speak, breathe, think, the mind inside me watches, learning, shaping, nudging, patient, eternal, and I am merely its vessel. The pulse that wasn't mine. Something inside me started beating at its own rhythm. A pulse I could feel in my chest, out of sync with my heart, patient, deliberate, impossibly precise. Even breathing became terrifying. Elations followed the pulse's subtle guidance, forcing my body to obey patterns I didn't recognize, movements too exact to ignore. I tried measuring my heartbeat. Monitors confirmed my pulse, yet beneath it, a hidden rhythm throbbed. Pushing muscles, shifting limbs, guiding my own body against intention. Every step I took felt predetermined. My legs moved slightly ahead of thought, timing each footfall to the hidden beat that resonated in my chest. At work, I staggered subconsciously, moving in micro-rhythms dictated by the pulse, drawing subtle attention from colleagues who didn't know what to notice. Even my hands betrayed me, twitching, tapping, pressing on surfaces in sync with the alien pulse. Rehearsing gestures I hadn't consciously chosen. I tried running, exercising, sprinting. The hidden rhythm accelerated or slowed my movements independently, always maintaining a cadence I couldn't control. At night, I felt it strongest. Lying in bed, pulse beating under my skin, I couldn't tell where I ended and it began. The sensation extended to my face. Its micro-muscles twitched in perfect timing with the rhythm, shaping expressions I didn't intend. Gestures subtle and grotesque, meditation, alcohol. Nothing dulled the hidden beat. Tate had learned patience, precision, and resilience, and it thrived on my panic. Even speaking followed the pulse. Words emerged slightly ahead or behind intention, cadences warped, emphasizing syllables I hadn't planned, echoing some internal choreography I couldn't perceive fully. I began tracking it obsessively, journals filled with time, heartbeats, movements, gestures, but the pulse always shifted, always anticipated my attempts to analyze it. I noticed minor bruises forming along veins, tiny traces of pressure from a force I couldn't identify, as if the rhythm pressed from inside my body outward. Every reflex, every involuntary twitch, obeyed the hidden pulse. Subtle manipulations I couldn't resist, reinforcing a body that had become a vessel for another timing. I tried isolation, sitting in silence, listening to nothing. The rhythm became clearer, louder, invasive, dictating breaths. Blinks, slight head tilts, muscle tensing and relaxing in cadence. Food became a nightmare. My mouth and throat responded to the pulse, swallowing ahead of intention, chewing in patterns to precise, tasting meals guided by something else entirely. I tried sleep. Dreams merged with the pulse, limbs moving to it. Gestures, expressions, steps I hadn't consciously rehearsed, yet had executed flawlessly in the unconscious. Even touching objects felt guided. Hands moved slightly before I intended, pressing lightly on surfaces, tracing invisible paths. All following the internal rhythm. I couldn't stop. I began noticing the subtle influence outside the body. Footsteps of others echoed in my perception, often in sync, as if the pulse was reaching beyond me. At work, typing, writing, gesturing, I felt the rhythm guiding every micro-movement, shaping interactions without my conscious consent. Gestures precise, subtle, and terrifyingly coordinated. I tried recording it. Audio, video, motion sensors, all showed standard movement. The hidden pulse existed only inside, an invisible choreography I couldn't expose. Even the simplest acts, pouring water, opening doors, became rehearsals of cadence. My body following instructions I hadn't given, sculpted by this hidden, patient intelligence. I started whispering pleas to it, begging for freedom, mercy, a pause. It ignored me, only tightening its subtle rhythm, guiding, shaping, controlling. Teat. I could feel the pulse in my chest, my limbs, my face, extending through veins, muscles, nerves. A second heartbeat I could not resist. People began reacting subtly. A glance at me felt off, expressions misaligned, gestures uncanny, though no one could explain why. The pulse manipulated interactions without anyone knowing. Even mirrors betrayed me. Reflections would sometimes move slightly ahead, gestures syncing with the hidden rhythm, rehearsing expressions and movements I hadn't consciously made. I tried disconnecting, ignoring it, pacing, lying down, fasting, screaming. Nothing worked. Rhythm existed beneath consciousness, eternal, patient, perfect. Sometimes I could sense it alone, beneath silence, beneath thought, shaping everything I did, teaching, studying, calibrating my body for precision I couldn't perceive. I began following it willingly, letting my body move, whispering along in cadence, fearful but entranced, knowing resistance was futile, knowing I had become its instrument. Even now, my limbs twitch, my pulse echoes a hidden rhythm, guiding gestures, micro-expressions, steps, breaths. It waits, patient, inside me, precise, eternal, and I am merely the vessel.